Hey everybody, welcome to Aniki, the podcast about anime with two brothers. I'm Ben.
And I'm never going to give you up.
I'm really upset that you sent me this tweet.
I'm never going to let you down either.
I don't like it. I don't want it. It's the worst.
I won't run around. I may desert you though.
I like how they just put Rick Astley's head on Madoka.
Madoka? On a Madokers?
Uh-huh. I mean, really, that should be the theme song for Nanoha.
You're not wrong. Wait, Nanoha?
Yeah, Nanoha.
Sure, why not?
All the friends. So many friends.
That's true. So many friends. But no, it should be the theme for Madoka because of, what's her name? Madoka's girlfriend. Shoot. Yeah.
Orima.
I mean, she's never gonna give her up.
Ever.
She does run around a little bit, but definitely never deserts Madoka. So Madoka does kind of desert her. So there you go.
Now that's not fair. Sometimes you just become witches.
I mean, that's true. Like witches.
So what have you been up to since last we spoke?
Playing lots of Monster Train.
Yeah.
Let's see. What else?
I saw that Mugen Train movie.
Mugen Train. I too watched Mugen Train.
Yeah, we watched it the last day in theaters.
Really? It's still in theaters over here.
Well, it's gone as of Thursday. So we saw it on Thursday. It was a packed house.
I bet. See, over here, you gotta space that shit out.
It was me, my wife, and a friend. That was it.
Oh, so you were being sardonic. I see. No, I mean, it's been doing well over here. It's like the second best anime movie ever in the United States. But again, same reason why it was so popular in Japan. One, it is very good. Two, nothing else came out in the past 18 months. So, you know.
It might have something to do with it.
Again, it's like that summer that Guardians of the Galaxy was on top of the box office for the entire summer. It's like part of it is, yes, it's very good. The other half is nothing else that was even close to being as good came out.
I wouldn't say that it was very good. It's very pretty.
Oh, yes.
It's very pretty. But as far as like story, there's not a whole lot there. There's some fighting and punching and such and crying.
It does exactly what that arc does in the manga. And you're like, well, okay.
It's shot for shot. I'll give it that.
I wish the CGI was a little better, but that's not the end of the world.
Yeah, it's fine. We need more Nezuko, though.
That's true. We always need more Nezuko.
The weird thing was, since I've read all the manga, and it's been a very long time since I finished that.
I know, right? It's hard to remember when all this takes place. Like, I know that it takes place after the anime stopped. Like, I know it happens directly after that. But I forget all the stuff that has happened since. It's like, here's all these other, like, leaders of all the other, like, what are their names? What are they called? The best swordsmen in every discipline?
Hashira or something?
Yeah, Hashiras. It's like, oh, they're dead. Oh, they're dead. Oh, yeah, I remember them. They died. Oh, yeah, they're dead. I don't know if that's spoilers or not. Is it spoilers to say that a whole bunch of the Hashira die over the course of the show? Surely people know that.
I mean, spoilers, like, I don't think anyone really does well at the end of the manga.
Yeah, by the end, everybody kind of, half the people die. So, I mean, it's a show.
I kept wondering, like, is this the particular arc and particular fight where, and this is without spoilers, where Nezuko stays in her box at the end of the fight, or does she not stay in the box at the end of the fight? And if you read the manga, I think you know what I'm referring to, but
I don't quite remember, but I'm sure I would if it came up.
Something very special is revealed about our Nezuko-chan.
Oh, well, that can't be till the very end. That's got to be like the.
It was about halfway through the manga somewhere. That's not because it changes the whole dynamic.
Well, because the last fight takes a bazillion chapters, like every shonen, right?
Yeah, but it ends
like Akagi.
I expected the manga to just keep going. Like they have a fight, the bad guy gets away, there's some more fighting, rinse and repeat forever. Nope.
Well, that's why I cared about Demon Slayer. As soon as I heard that the manga was like over, I was like, oh, my care about this goes up exponentially. Just like I know that like the end of My Hero Academia is coming up. I don't know if it's coming up here or in Japan, but either way, it's coming up. And it's like, oh, well, then my caring about My Hero Academia shoots way up as soon as I know that it's over. And it's not just going to continue ad infinitum forever.
You want to talk about something sad? It's not so much
ad infinitum as it is as nauseum. What?
Something else ended this last week.
Oh, Berserk, I know.
Berserk.
Bummer.
I'm upset.
It sucks. Yeah, I know. It sucks. Big bummer.
Now we're never going to know what happens. I hope he at least did something like George R. R. Martin has done and told somebody, here's how the thing finishes. But I somehow doubt it.
Here's the sketch. Yeah, who knows?
Who knows?
Bummer. Hey, you know what starts next week? The new Godzilla anime.
Why is there a new Godzilla anime? Was that in our hot takes?
No, I don't think so. Well, it's another like weird collab. It's weird. It's like Toho soft sold the live action rights to Godzilla to Warner Brothers. Is that who's doing it? I have to assume that part of that deal is why there's not been a live action Godzilla movie out of Japan in the past, since Shin Godzilla, really. But there's been lots of like animated movies and stuff for Godzilla, like the Godzilla animated movie trilogy, which was pretty okay. And now there's this new Godzilla anime. So,
well, Toho is not very happy with the 1999 Godzilla movie. And
oh, you mean with Zilla? Oh, no one is. But you know, the new ones have been pretty okay. I did watch Godzilla versus Kong. It was okay.
It was monsters punching each other.
I mean, look, all I have to say is if there is a robot eyeball in Act 1 of a Godzilla movie, then you fight Mechagodzilla in Act 3. And yes, of course, that's what happened.
It's like the Japanese Chekhov's gun.
Yeah, basically. If it's a Godzilla movie and there's a robot part in the first act, you know there's going to be Mechagodzilla by the third.
These are true facts.
And lo and behold, there was Mechagodzilla. I heard someone saying, I overheard somebody at the grocery store. They're like, yeah, I watched Godzilla vs. Kong. There's a twist at the end. You'll never guess it. They gang up and fight someone else. It's like, yeah, no, of course they do, because it's a versus movie. Every versus movie ends with both of them fighting it. Like that's
how this works.
X versus Y ends in a third act. Z shows up and then X and Y fight Z, like that, because
now they're friends, the enemy of my enemy, etc.
I do think it's funny that you also like you go into it being like, who's gonna win? Is it gonna be Godzilla or Whoozy Whatsy?
It's always Godzilla. What are you talking? What did you?
And it's like,
what? Why is that even a question?
Well, Godzilla always wins in these, not just because it's flipping Godzilla, but also, is Toho gonna let you use Godzilla and have him lose?
No, it's actually in the rules.
Like, I mean, like you can't do that. Like you can't lease Godzilla.
You can have him lose in the middle of the movie, but he has to come back for revenge. That's how it works. They're simple rules. Everybody abides by them, except apparently whoever, I forget who did the 99 Godzilla, but he didn't get the memo.
Yeah, no, I know, right?
Let's see, what have I been up to? Read some mangas, still watching the shows. To Your Infinity, low-key, is not the most entertaining show of the season, but I think it's the best show of the season.
Very likely. That's likely the case. From everything that I see and hear about it.
There have been 2 episodes in a row where I look over my wife at the end of the episode, and she's just a mess. Just a mess. A lot of Kleenexes. It's pretty heavy. Opposite of that, I've been watching some Yuri Yuri.
Oh yeah, that's a classic from ages ago.
Yuri Yuri. It's dumb as hell, but it's entertaining. It also does what it says on the tin.
Yep.
There's a lot of Yuri in it. Everybody has crushes on everybody else.
Yeah.
I recommend it if you're looking for something stupid to watch.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that was the consensus years ago when that first showed up.
Look.
And it does have
I've got a backlog. I'm getting through it.
Is it the opening theme or the ending theme that everybody knows?
I don't know. Maybe both. Maybe neither. I skip them. Such is my curse.
How dare?
How dare? I do it all the time.
Oh, hold on. I have this thing that you want to watch. It's not for now, but you should probably watch it.
Let me see the title.
No, I'll find it.
Sure I shouldn't watch this right now?
It's too long, but I mean, it should be watched, but it's like 30 minutes.
I'll watch that later.
Good little rant. Much like me yelling at my boss to not buy more 10-cent stickers. We have $2,000 worth of 10-cent stickers in inventory right now. I don't care what we're out of. We don't need more.
What are you talking about? Are you saying you don't need, what would that be, 20,000 stickers?
It's so many stickers. You have no idea.
Yeah, sell them to the kids. Stickers
we do.
For the kids.
We sell a lot of those stickers. But when you've got $2,000 worth of a 5-cent item.
That's how you make money.
That's a lot.
Sell them stickers. You know who would be really interested in your sticker collection?
Who?
Be Renge.
That is very true.
Renge would like some
Renge
stickers.
definitely wants stickers. Actually, I don't know if that's canon or not. We don't know if she likes stickers.
Fair
That's
enough.
unknown.
Let's talk about Non Non Biyori Nonstop.
Let's talk about nonstop. So, I've got one revelation and one important thing to point out
Okay.
before we get into
Whoa.
Non here.
Are you is this related to Non Non Biyori Nonstop?
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Are you sure that you can actually derive revelations from Non Non Biyori Nonstop?
Yes.
I'm interested in your wares.
Okay, but first, the important thing is really not that important. I was just going to say my overall feeling of this season is this is definitely a sweeter season than a silly season. As such, I didn't personally enjoy it as much as some of the other non-nuns, but it was still a very chill time.
You know what? We actually agree on that. Because I was going to say the same thing.
Yeah, it's a sweet season, and I like that. It was nice to have a chiller season. But what I would have preferred is, to split that difference, to have sweet episodes or sweet small sub-episodes. Yeah.
Along with silliness.
Yeah, more interspersed.
I was expecting more silliness. And I got halfway through this season, and I'd completely forgotten that this is the same show that gave us the gif of Renge being Dio Brando.
No, I know, right?
So,
and the other thing that I think was, again, I don't want to say detriment, because I did really enjoy this season, but the individual segments were much longer in this than they normally are.
were they? I thought they were shorter. Some of them felt long, but I thought most of them were actually pretty short.
I don't think so. I felt like normally an episode of Non Non Biyori had 4 to 5 segments, maybe up to 6. I felt like most episodes of this season had 2 to 3.
Yeah, it's fair. Well, especially towards the end.
Yeah, but the segments were longer. I do like how it's taken 3 years for Renge to graduate into 2nd grade.
Mm-hmm. Everyone's
and
graduated.
That's where the revelation comes in.
Uh-oh.
I got talking to Annie about this.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so.
Uh-huh. Are they dead?
No.
Okay.
So, this is
hang on. Does this take place in the Higurashi cinematic universe?
I'm positive that it does, yes.
I had a similar thought.
Positive.
What if this is just repeating over and over and over?
Exactly.
They're having a good time.
Well, maybe not. We don't know. So, small country town.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It perpetually repeats itself, and there's one boy in the class.
He doesn't talk. Maybe he's traumatized.
Is he traumatized? And what's he doing anytime that he's not on screen? Our bet, he's in Oishi's air-conditioned car. That's our bet.
I can't refute your argument.
See, this is just a Higurashi. Toe to tip. This is Higurashi.
Well, okay. If that's the case, then who her horns?
Exactly. No one her horns. No one ever her horns.
But who is horns then? In this scenario?
Renge, obviously.
Is it her antennas?
Or it's Shiori. She did just show up in this latest season. And who is she friends with but the other youngest girl of the show?
You are presenting some arguments.
This is a Higurashi. 100%. There's even sisters. There's a pair of sisters. They're not quite twins, but they're pretty close.
Are they, though? Are they?
Are they sisters? Yes.
Are they even close to being twins?
Well, I don't know. But they're sisters. And sisters is close to being twins.
It is one step removed. You are correct.
No, I didn't say identical twins. I just said twins. To be fair. So,
you heard it here, folks. Off screen, this is a nightmare.
Yeah, absolutely. This is some grim ass shit happening just off camera.
Well,
these are just the Higurashi loops in which nothing terrible happened immediately. Everybody just dies at the very end of the loop.
I have a counterpoint.
Okay.
They have cell phones.
Well, look. Okay, so we've been watching Clear Card Saga.
Uh-huh.
Clear Card Saga canonically happens 3 years after the original show.
So
she was in 6th grade in the original show, and now they're in middle school. Well, I guess just like 2 years or whatever.
That'd be roughly 2000-ish?
2000. It starts in 1998. We know this.
Mm-hmm.
or 1996. Yeah, either way, I'm as old as Sakura. Don't worry about that. But this is true.
That raises some questions.
It does, doesn't it? And she starts to show at like 12, so that puts it at 1998.
Okay.
And she's in 5th grade, 4th grade. Either way, this happens in her first year of middle school. They have smartphones and laptops with Wi-Fi. All right. So, like, look. And this is a straight shot timeline.
Okay.
So, if they can do it, so can Higurashi and Non Non Biyori. You just don't worry about some of this stuff.
I think it's fine. Yeah. Someone will her horns at some point in the show, maybe.
And eventually, someone will her Ahoge.
Well, where do we start with Nonstop?
Where does one start with Nonstop? I think you just kind of go over we've got a couple new characters on the scene. We get Shiori. We get Flute
Kane.
Girl, who has a name. Kane.
Yes.
And we talk a little bit more about the girl who's in high school, who is somehow 18, but looks like she's 6.5.
Listen, if Hotaru can be 10 years old, let us remember that Hotaru is 10 years old.
Yeah.
And everybody thinks she's 18.
Yeah, but here's the thing with Hotaru. That is like the character, right? Like that
is her shtick.
That's what we're doing. That's the shtick. The shtick is she looks much older than she is. Mm-hmm. Now, again, 10 to 16 is probably a little bit beyond the pale, even if, she went through puberty early. Sure. But she should still, not look quite so old. But, like, you can't do that with other characters, right? You can't have her look that mature, but then have your mature characters look too young. It kind of breaks the joke in some ways.
Yeah, like the one girl who actually graduated high school.
Yeah.
And every time they showed her, I'm like, who is she again? Oh, yeah, she's the oldest one.
Yeah. She's supposed to be 18, but she still looks like 10. And again, I know it's the Moe style. We're gonna be reaching for things to talk about with Non Non Biyori because it's Non Non Biyori, and some of them will be negative because there's not much else to talk about.
Talking about? There's
Non is
so much to talk about. There isn't.
Okay,
I watched this
about?
show at 150%, and it's still slow.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good show, but it's Non Non Biyori.
One of the best ways they utilize their setting is just padding, usually for jokes.
Of course.
I like that. Someone tells a bad joke. We show a couple scenes of idyllic scenery for
we let
way
it
too
really
long,
sink in.
and then we cut back.
That's what we do.
Well, I guess we could start at just episode 1 and work our way through. We've talked about all these characters before.
Well, not the two new ones.
Not the two new ones.
One is into the flute, and the other one is even younger than Renge by a year. And she has an existential crisis about round things.
She does have some deep thoughts concerning orbs, spheres, and things of that nature.
Mostly orbs, spheres. Let's just say if she was in the movie Sphere, she would have a bit of a breakdown.
Well, I think most people would.
Oh, that's fair.
What was it she said? Debating whether or not a perfectly round object actually exists.
Yep.
These are 6-year-olds.
Yeah. But that's the funny thing about that statement is that is both perfectly 6-year-old, but also way above the head of 6-year-olds.
It is.
Because one, they do realize dumb stuff like that, but they don't realize the existential crisis that goes along with it. They're just like, but then is anything ever round? They say it so innocently.
But does then anything ever?
Black holes are perfectly round.
They might have hair, depending on who you ask. And they're not perfectly round because they spin, and so they bulge in the middle. The more you know.
Do that? That can't be right.
Well, it is.
Well, singularity can't be ovoid.
Well, singularity is a singularity. I don't know what that looks like. Is it a point? Is it a ring?
It's a point.
Nobody knows.
A point is basically a hole. A point is basically a dot, and a dot is basically a circle.
Just like time.
Just like time being a flat circle in Non Non Biyori.
Which is why it's nonstop. We got
that is true. We did.
All right, episode 1.
Hey, so I like this about episode 1. They skip over. So in repeat, they do the whole year over again. In this one, they're just like, Renge's already in first grade. Deal with it. Hotaru's already there. Deal with it. Let's go. And you're like, oh, that's nice. We don't have to do all that over again.
So wait, are we going back on the Higurashi thing then? Are you saying we're not doing it over again?
No, not necessarily. We just didn't have to see it again.
Ah, I see.
It's like how in the new Marvel Spider-Man movies, we didn't have to watch Uncle Ben die again. We know that happens. We're good.
Gotcha. So yeah, Akane shows up. She is a high school friend of the oldest one, whose name completely escapes me.
I don't remember her being in it much, but this season had her in it a lot more than usual.
Akane's very shy. She just wants to make friends, and the oldest one invites her over to her house to practice flutes.
Yeah,
practice some flutes. And Akane, just like everybody else who visits this town, is just shocked at how remote it is.
It's pretty far out there. It's so far away that they could go camping there, and you would see the city lights. That's how far away it is.
I think it's further than that.
Oh boy. If only.
Middle of nowhere.
Tell the Yuru Camp girls. This season does have a Yuru Camp crossover, and that's choice.
So Akane shows up. She meets Renge. She's not really sure what to do with the Renge.
No one's ever sure what to do with the Renge.
True. Renge freaks her out several times by showing her weird stuff, like a frog. You want this frog?
It's a toad.
Got you this frog. You want one? She doesn't want one. And then they go over to the oldest one's house, and they play the frog song on the flute.
They do. And the recorder.
It's very sweet.
Oh, was that only episode 2 where Hotaru is caught on the train looking much more her age? I do love that. I do love how canonically in Non Non Biyori, while she does look older when she's alone with her parents, she is just like the widowest kwai baby in the world, and I love that.
I don't think
the other important
around.
thing that happened. The other important thing that happens in episode 2 is they plant tomatoes. I love this show. I just want to throw that out there.
Tomatoes are very exciting.
They're the most exciting of fruits.
Then why do we put them in salads?
Fruit salad. Shut up.
They did build a greenhouse. That part I found interesting, that these girls of not very old age are building greenhouses. Maybe not odd, just out of the ordinary.
Has your wife built a greenhouse yet?
No. There's a lot of chicken wire in the yard now, though.
Yeah, it keeps the squirrels out of things.
Keeps the birds off the strawberries.
And that'll do it too. Yeah, birds are a menace. We
walked outside the other day, and there was a chipmunk holding her strawberry, and it ran off.
You need to get yourself a BB gun. I'll teach him a lesson.
He was incensed. The outrage of the whole thing.
The indignation. And he's got strawberries, and I have a nasty feeling that the crows or squirrels are going to come for them once they ripen up.
Oh, they will. So that's that episode.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's not Non Biyori. What do you want from us?
Let's see. That's number 3. Number 3. Turns out I skipped episode 3. I was rereading these descriptions.
You missed a very exciting episode.
Explain it to me. I want to hear your version of it.
Natsume, Renge's older sister, comes over from Tokyo because it's summer break. And they start playing ball with... Wait, did I get that wrong? Hikage, Renge's older sister, is back from Tokyo for summer and plays ball with Natsume, and Natsume breaks a bonsai pot.
Uh-oh.
And they go through all this. They're like, okay, so how do we deal with this? And Natsume's like, okay, here's what we're going to do for once. We're just going to fess up immediately so it doesn't look shady.
That doesn't sound like Natsumi at all.
I know, right? But that's her. Well, her plan is either that, or they hide all the evidence, get enough clay to make a new pot, fire it, and then replant it.
She goes through a lot of effort.
She does. But she's like, okay, this time, the easiest way is to just fess up immediately. They're like, okay, so let's go find Mom. Well, Mom's out.
Mm-hmm.
Then they're like, well, shit. Now, if anybody else sees the pot, they'll think that we are only confessing to our crime because we have been caught. And then we lose sincerity points, and that would be a disaster. So before Mom gets home, let's hide it so no one else sees it, so then we can confess to Mom right there. And while they're in the process of cleaning it up, Mom comes home and hears them talking about how they're going to cover up their crime so they all get in trouble anyway. Either way, it's a good bit.
I only have one reaction to that.
Yeah.
This.
Yeah, basically. You're not wrong.
Mental math going on.
They go through a lot of nonsense only to wind up back where they started, but therein lies the humor. Either way, it's good. It's a good bit.
I feel sad I missed that one. I'll have to watch that after we record here.
Then they get to thinking about how they've never quite gotten along and how many times they've kind of screwed each other over in the past.
There are a lot of flashbacks this season. I didn't notice that.
And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but that was kind of nice.
Let's see, episode 4, Renge.
Episode 4, Renge is ACAB.
She is Summer Santa Claus, and she delivers all the tomatoes.
Are you sure about that? I think she's ACAB.
ACAB? Really?
ACAB.
You think
all
so?
Cops are bastards when it's Renge.
No. She's doing summer Christmas gifts.
Is she?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And that's how she meets the daughter of the local neighborhood police officer.
Then she does get called One-chan, and it makes her very happy.
She gets a lot of mileage out of that.
She gets to be One-chan for once. Bless her. Bless her whittle heart. Go Renge.
There was one gag in this episode that I enjoyed. That was the toy handcuffs.
Again, all cops are bastards because Renge cuffs up. I do like how they do the very Japanese thing of like, let's hide the handcuffs with a little towel and then no one will know they're handcuffs.
Except they immediately notice.
Of course you know.
I think Renge was onto something. I think she got the right perp.
Probably.
Let's see, what else?
That's about it. That's about all that happens in that episode. But it's good gag.
In episode 5, I have to admit, was probably my favorite one because it has the longest running gag.
It's pretty good. I would have liked it to be in a couple more episodes, just randomly. It just showing up.
That would have been nice. So at the start of that episode, Hotaru, who you may recall from previous seasons, has a obsession with Komari.
That's
slightly unhealthy.
Yeah.
Almost Higurashi levels of unhealthy.
Oh, of course.
Anyway, so she's got one of her little Komari dolls that she's made, and as part of her summer project, because that's what you do in Japan, you have little summer projects that you take home, you work on, you bring them back to school. They build robots. And she decided to put her little robot inside of a dog. Yep. Plushie. It's a dog plushie, let's point out. This isn't...
Yeah, that's important.
The horror is off screen. And she puts a Komari doll on top of this dog. And it walks outside and just keeps on going. And Hotaru doesn't notice.
Oh, yeah. Meanwhile, it just screams that it is plushy Komari.
Akane shows up at some point and plays hopscotch with Renge.
Yeah.
And then is spooked by this dog coming out of the bushes. She hears a very strange phrase, like Komari plushie.
Also, I love that in a very introvert way, she has showed up to practice at Konomi's house a day early and is too embarrassed to even knock on the door and in no way, shape, or form wants to get caught by Konomi lest she feel existential dread. So she has to hide from her in bushes. And I enjoy it.
Makes sense.
I feel that. Sometimes you're just like, yeah, but if I get caught now, I just look like an idiot. So you do more things that make you look even more like an idiot the longer you hiding goes on. Either way, I feel it too much.
The person who really gets called out for being an idiot in this one is Hotaru, at least from the show's perspective. Because Okane's spooked by this dog thing, and as she keeps describing it, Hotaru becomes more and more...
It becomes more and more obvious
distraught.
what has happened. Yeah.
I don't know what you guys are talking about. Episode 6, we got our Yuru camps.
Yes, we go Yuru camping.
Yori camping.
And we do have and we even have a drunk camper.
Who's a teacher.
Yep. It's toe to tip. This is not only is it Higurashi, it's Higurashi and Yuru camp in the same show. So really, Non Non Biyori is the perfect anime.
I can't fault you for that conclusion at all.
Can't. 100%.
Now, the way Renge and Natsumi get spooked by Sensei, choice.
Oh, yes, 100%.
While they're out looking for rhinoceros beetles, Sensei is like, oh, it's dark. I'm super drunk. I should go find them. But I can only crawl.
Please don't. Okay.
Hijinks ensue. People are spooked.
A+.
And then some people do some homework. Episode 7.
Yeah. What's up with episode 7? I don't remember.
That was Parents' Day.
Oh! That had some really good gags in it.
Turns out that Natsumi and Komari's mom is terrifying.
Yes,
and Natsumi
this is true.
Is an idiot.
Also true.
Sensei was trying to lob like all the softballs. Like
It's very good.
Why don't we start Natsumi with multiplication tables? It's like you're in middle school. What's the 7 times table? And they're all wrong. Oh yeah, every single one. I don't even think some were numbers.
It was the 8s. Come on. Let's give her some credit. The 7s are pretty difficult. The 8s are even easy because it's a multiple of 2. 7 is at least like prime numbers, so it gets like complicated when you start multiplying. But these were 8s.
Mom ain't happy. And so ain't nobody happy.
That's true. This is also the one where Renge and Shiori get into their very deep discussion. And it ends in a very cute thing where Natsume is actually good at something, such as setting up freshwater aquariums.
Was it freshwater? Because they did add some salt.
No, they didn't.
They did add some salt there at the end.
No, they didn't. Oh, well, and they added salt to the tank anyway, because that was the name of the crab. Har, har, har.
Yeah. Next one's really just a sweet episode because Akane, one of her friends in orchestra club, is quitting so she can focus on entrance exams for college. And she's very upset that Konami's going to do the same thing. But you can't just come up and ask her. Till she builds up the courage, she asked her, and Konami's like, I'm going to go into community college. I don't care.
It's better than that. She doesn't ask. She just like confesses, not like a romantic confession, but just does the very standard, thank you, senpai, for all of the great things you've done for me as my senpai. And I will miss you very much because you were so very good and very great. And she's like, oh, well, thank you, but I don't need to study for exams because I got into a community college. So I'm going to be in orchestra all year. You don't have to say goodbye yet. Also,
after I'm in college, I'm going to continue doing orchestra, and you can just keep coming over. It's fine.
Yeah. And Akane, like, dies. But
mortified.
Really, I just feel Akane, like, really strong.
Wow. This episode also had the Natsumi pillow fight. That's where Natsumi gets into a pillow fight.
Oh, and breaks the wall, but not really. And
breaks
does.
The wall.
Oh, yes.
There's a hole in the wall. And she's like, oh, no, what are we going to do?
That was good.
Tries covering it with a poster. She's like, what wasn't a poster? It was like some like silly.
It's like a pin the tail on the donkey type deal.
Yeah, something like that, except with stickers. She's like, I got to cover this up. Mom's never going to know now. Ha, ha, ha. Mom comes in, notices it immediately. She's like, oh, I bet you thought you put that hole in the wall. Turns out I put that hole in the wall.
But it's so small, we can just patch it.
Natsumi's like, good. I didn't have to do this at all. And pulls the poster off.
And it rips a giant chunk out of the walls because the walls are made out of literal paper.
Natsumi's a moron.
Good old Natsumi.
Oh, yeah. And then Akane ends up playing the flute for everyone. Takes her a while, but she does it. Episode 9.
Episode 9. What happens at Niner?
There was a ghost, and Komari saw the ghost.
A+.
It definitely wasn't a weasel or whatever it was.
Some sort of ferret thing.
It's a ferrety thing that apparently she thought could call her on the phone.
I guess so. I mean, that's a superpower most weasels have.
I don't know any weasels that can't.
Either way, I enjoy that the gag was Komari is like, stories of ghosts are stupid because really all it is a whole bunch of coincidences that line up in a funny way and it seems spooky. And then a bunch of coincidences line up in a funny way and she scares herself because of it.
Because it's spooky.
It's good. I like it.
And
she gets her comeuppance even knowing what it is. And Komari still can't cook. And that remains funny.
Can't cook and she can't knit. At least she can't knit patterns.
No.
She can knit lots of things, but what are those things? It's a grab bag. Is that a sweater? Are those long johns? I don't know.
Look, it's carrot top prop humor is what it is, and that's still no good.
Wow. Let's see, what's next?
Hikage asks for a New Year's allowance, and it's very good, and then she gets like completely destroyed by
Konami.
And it's very good.
That was a good one. Not for entertainment's sake, but I appreciated what the show did because in this episode, we've got a whole scene where Natsume, Renge, and Hikage are all just standing out in a blizzard. And there is a scene. A scene occurs, but really it's just them standing around and talking.
Yeah.
And 2 of them are having I don't know what they're doing. They're in a hospital or a fishmongers. Turns out it was a convenience store.
One, that's a very good, just like probably ad-libbed skit
It was well
it's
done.
very in character for all of them, and how younger kids play, and also how their teacher just looks out and is like, what the fuck are those kids doing out in the middle of a blizzard?
Talking about being a fish
It just
in a hospital bed. What are you talking
It just
about?
comes together to be not really a joke, but just like extremely absurdist humor.
I liked
But it's
it.
really
want
good.
more. I want just
It's
give me a
just
whole show
weird.
of that.
It's just so weird.
I love
It's
it
just like, what? Why are they out there in the blizzard?
because they got out there and then just decided to do improv.
It's a manzai bit, right? Except that there's just two.
There's 2 bouquets.
Yeah, there's 2 bouquets,
It's very well done.
but it's A+. Oh, Honoka still exists, by the way.
Oh yeah, she came back. It was very emotional last time that she showed up, but this time she showed up and was gone in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, well, and it tried to be emotional, but it was just like, man, this was so many years ago in real time.
This is true. Also, it just didn't give enough time in the show to like really make that impactful.
Yeah, but it was still sweet. Episode 11, Candy Store gets smashed, and
She can recover real quick.
yes, when Renge shows up, it's very good. That's another just like gag that I could never tire of.
She slumped over. I'm dead.
I am a sloppy drunk mess. Renge's in the room. I am perfect. I am fine.
Let me get you some milk,
because
young lady.
Renge's such a good child, and I cannot be seen being a bad person in front of Renge.
As soon as the door closes, just all gone. All gone.
Oh, I will vomit, but I will do my best for Renge.
And then there's like a lot of sob stories. They weren't really sob stories.
Cute.
She got real like, I want to
Cute
tell you guys how much I
flashbacks.
love you guys.
Yeah,
You guys are amazing.
Exactly.
Although she did name everybody off. She's like, Renge's just so amazing, and Hikage has grown so much, and Komari's just a sweetheart, and Natsumi.
And Natsume.
All those girls are great.
Well, she's a good kid, right? It's very much of what is it? It's a good gag from Riff Tracks where they're just like, remember Bug's Life with all those memorable characters like
The bug.
and
Yeah.
Toy Story is just fantastic. It's very much that.
True facts. There was a flashback for when Renge was a baby. Renge's expression has still never changed in her entire life.
Baby Renge remains cute as a button.
Let me get this episode 12. It's momentous.
Renge finally moves to 2nd grade.
The cycle breaks, maybe. Summer is over.
I know, right?
Or is it?
Winter's over. Spring is over.
Suguru, her horns. I think that's what happened.
Yeah, Glasses graduates. Good for Glasses. Congratulations.
Congratulations. I really expected him to say something.
I really did too. I was like, he's going to say just like one thing.
It's going to be like
No.
a 1 to 3 word phrase. It's going to make no sense, and it's going to be great.
It's either going to be very silly or very serious. But no, none of it. He never does get a line. He does have to play his own graduation song on the piano. And I can't tell if that's funny or very sad.
I don't know that he had to, but he chose to.
Good for him.
Then they go sliding down a hill on some cardboard.
Yep. Remember those summer days as your youth.
Then a baby's born, and it's very sweet.
Yep. And Komari she's so widow, she has to be on cardboard with a grown up because she's a widow baby.
It's not her fault.
It would have been better if she had to go down with Hotaru, but can't have it all.
This is true. I half expected it, but it didn't happen.
Yeah.
That brings us to essentially the end. There's a new baby.
Yeah.
Renge is now a different One-chan.
Yeah. She's a 2nd grader.
Because this girl is going to be... She'll be Renge's age when Renge is essentially like Komari's age-ish.
Yeah, something like that. And here's the other thing that's weird, all right? They have the baby, and it's another girl, which means that there are like no boys in this village at all now that Megane has graduated.
But is he going to school like in Tokyo?
He's commuting to school. No,
or is he going to the same place
away.
like Konami's going?
I think same sort of place Konami's going.
He's still around though.
But still. There ain't no boys in this whole town.
There are no unmarried boys. You were correct.
There you go. But Renge finally graduated. It's taken 3 seasons, but she did it. Bless her little heart.
Now, here's my question for you. Speculation time. Will there be another season? Because the manga finished.
I kind of hope there's another season, and I kind of hope that it's Renge is now the old one.
Ooh. What would
Wouldn't that
she
be
be
nice?
like as the same age as like Natsumi?
Yeah, I
Would
have
she
no
be
idea.
rambunctious or would she be serious?
She would still be weirdly serious.
Hmm.
But Non Non Biyori started 8 years ago,
That's so long ago. I can't even
and
remember
she
last week.
finally graduated first grade.
That does sound impressive, but how long has Ash Ketchum been out there being 12 years
Look,
old?
don't worry about Ash Ketchum. They rebooted the anime this year anyway.
So he's 12 all over again. Or is he 10 years old? I can't remember.
I don't know. Wait, 10 years old? That's as old as the Phantom of the Opera's kid,
What?
quite famously.
What?
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 Don't tell me you've never heard of Love Never Dies.
I'm going to learn something terrible, aren't I?
Oh boy. Love Never Dies is Android Lloyd Webber's sequel to The Phantom of the Opera. It's very bad.
I did not know this existed.
Yeah, but there's this part where like the Phantom meets this child, and the child's like, "Yeah, I'm 10 years old," and he dramatically belts out 10 years old in song because the Phantom is like, "That's when I had sex with with his mom, so he must be my child." It's great. It's very terrible.
I don't have words or a response to that.
Annie loves Love Never Dies because it's very terrible.
Yeah, I hate everything about what you just said.
Yeah, Love Never Dies.
Just every bit of it.
The Phantom hosts a carnival at Coney Island, which is where it takes place.
Andrew Lloyd Webber needs to not do things.
Look, he has an OTP,
I realize this.
and it's very bad.
I don't want it.
Yeah, no one did. No one asked for it. No one wanted it, and yet it exists.
Apparently it does. And this is the world in which I continue to live in. So what are we going to watch for next time? What's going to beat Non Non Biyori Nonstop?
Ah, here it is.
I'm not going to watch that.
No, it's literally 10 seconds. But
Here we go.
I was gonna say let's break with all of our sweet goodness. I've heard really good things about Invincible on Amazon Prime.
Sorry, there was a man screaming 10 years old.
He just belts
I
out
heard
10 years
nothing
old.
about what you said.
He just belts it out.
Even the
Just
kid's
makes all
expression
music.
at the end. He's like, what the hell,
Oh, yeah.
man?
It's great, right? Kid's 10 years old. I've heard good things about Invincible.
Invincible.
It's very different from what we just watched, but I've heard good things. It's American.
I think that goes against the rules.
What? Now, hold on.
We
Look,
did watch Castlevania. That is true.
if we've got to watch Castlevania, and we will watch the last season,
I
even
don't
though I'm
want-
sure it's still
I
bad,
don't want it. Church bad. I don't want it.
I think we can watch this one. Especially, look, I agree that primarily we want to watch anime, but limited run animation, I think, is still in our wheelhouse.
Isn't
Is it? I think so. I think it's fine. Unless there's something better you want to watch. If there's something better you want to watch, we can do it.
when does that Castlevania nonsense come out?
Well, we're not watching that till October. That's the rules.
Oh, well, good. I've got a stay of execution until then.
Them's the rules. We'll watch that for Halloween.
There's still Skate the Infinity.
You make a powerful argument.
Skating down those mine shafts.
We could skate infinity. Ooh.
Apparently, it's bonkers.
It's bonkers, and all the girls just love it.
We could also start watching So I'm a Spider. So what? That's still airing though.
Yeah, that's still airing. That's more against the rules than watching Invincible. Yeah, I guess we could skate some infinity.
Let's skate some Infinity. Let's go down a
You
mine
make a
shaft or
powerful
two.
argument. Let's go down the mine shaft to the rabbit hole. We can skate some infinity.
I'm for it.
Infinities can be skated.
All right, I'll see you at the bottom of that mine shaft.
Oh boy, I'm sure it goes very deep. Just like all these boys. Heyo.